regardless of what you think about Jake Paul, dude, the guy can fight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm your host, Joe Davis. This is the Garbage to Gold podcast. I needed to jump on here real quick and talk about something that's been blowing up all over the internets today. We've got, it looks like confirmation to me. Multiple news outlets have put this out. I've seen it on Valuetainment. I've seen it on ESPN. It's all over my social medias. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. How in the fuck did this happen? How is this fight even allowed to happen? Now, I know before we get into the stereotypical shit, that Jake Paul is a crappy boxer and an asshole and a douchebag and every fucking thing that all you internet people say he is. First off, I have a lot of, I follow martial arts. I train martial arts. I've been trained in boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu and stuff. I'm not a professional boxer by any means, okay? I have met some professional boxers. I've seen them train. They are fantastic, okay? A professional at anything, like a true professional, is so talented. The skill level that they have compared to the average person is just outstanding. Now, Mike Tyson is one of those people. He's the best heavyweight boxer of all time, possibly the greatest boxer of all time. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather has a better record. And Mike Tyson has losses to some people. His career towards the end was not, he didn't, end his career on a super high note. But of all the things that Mike Tyson has been through over the years, he has still rehabilitated himself. He's still a massive star. He's still extremely respected around the world. Mike Tyson is a fucking amazing person. Okay, a lot of people love him, regardless of any of the things that have been said about him. He's been kind of beat up in the media and during his career. All that aside, he's an amazing champion. Now, Jake Paul, who is I think 27 years old, and Mike Tyson at the time of this fight, which it says right here on ESPN, Mike Tyson will be 57 years old when this fight happens, which is supposed to take place, I believe, on Netflix. Netflix is, they've got the pay-per-view rights or whatever. They're the ones, going to be streaming this to everybody. This fight is supposed to happen either June 20th or July 20th. Let me see here. Let's scroll up just a second. Bear with me here. Saturday, July 20th, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Now, this just sounds like it's satire almost. Like this, I feel like I'm looking at a Babylon Bee meme. But no, this is really happening. It's crazy. With these types of fights, there's been a bunch of them lately. It seems like this stuff started to happen around COVID time when everybody was sitting around with nothing to do, and all the media people just kind of came together like, how are we going to entertain all these people that are fucking doing nothing right now? And you started to see these like crazy boxing matches, Logan Paul versus fucking Floyd Mayweather. Well, I guess it all started with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather back in 2016 or 17, whenever that fight happened. But there's been a bunch of them in recent years. Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. in 2020 or 2021, and Jake Paul was on that undercard when he knocked out Nate Robinson. The crazy thing with Jake Paul is, like, regardless of what you think about Jake Paul, dude, the guy can fight. He has nothing to do. He has all the time in the world to train. Okay. If you think about most fighters when they come up through the ranks, like they're young guys, they have to work. They have to work like a full-time job to pay for their training, to pay for their gym time. They're working a full-time job. They go straight from their full-time job to the training facility. They usually got like a baby and a relationship. It's tough. We've seen this, with a lot of fighters. This is just how it is. They got a family. They got to support their family and somehow try to build a career. Jake Paul don't have none of that, dude. This guy ain't got no babies. He don't have a job or nothing. He's already super wealthy. The dude can wake up in the morning. He's probably got a badass boxing gym in his home. He wakes up, starts hitting the bag, gets a fucking great workout, and then he goes to the big gym where, all his trainers and shit are, and he trains even more. So, and he's been doing this for like, what, 7 years now? I don't care who it is. If you take a guy, an average Joe, and you put him, into that type of environment, and he's throwing punches all day, every day, and he's got good trainers, and he's got a lot of money to get really, really good trainers, and this is what he's doing day in, day out for 6 years, dude, he's going to be able to fight, okay? Regardless of what people say about Jake Paul sucking and not being a good fighter, is he the pound for pound best ever? We don't know yet. I would say no. He's had some losses, but he's beat some people that, he shouldn't have beat. Anderson Silva. I felt like he should have lost to Anderson Silva. I feel like Tyron Woodley should have beat him, and he knocked him out. I feel like Nate Diaz should have beat him. Nate Diaz, claims to be, a world-class, amazing boxer, which he's definitely not a bad boxer by any means, but I felt like he should have, easily gotten past Jake Paul, but he lost the fight. Now, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Is this going to be an actual sanctioned fight, or is this an exhibition fight? That's kind of the crazy thing is, with when Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather. I mean, you could make the argument that was not a real, sanctioned fight because they weren't really... The level of competition, the way they were fighting each other did not look like two guys that were in there trying to hurt each other, trying to finish a fight. And you could say the same thing for Mike Tyson's last fight against Roy Jones Jr., that it was way more of just an exhibition. It was just strictly to get eyeballs on the TV, get people to pay for this event. And that's what a lot of these fights are. They're just money grabs. They're just trying to get people to these streaming services, and make a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how the world goes around. All right. Money is the driver of everything. You get a bunch of people together, they pay to see something. You make a bunch of noise, and this is going to be entertainment. This is going to be a pure 100% entertainment. I will pay to see this fight. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, even though Mike Tyson's 60 years old and fucking Jake Paul's younger than me. It really sounds like satire, like this isn't real. But this is the state of the world we live in. This is boxing right now. The purest of the sport of boxing have to be just absolutely, up in arms over this. I would be too if I was a real professional boxer, and just seeing kind of the this kid Jake Paul come into the sport and just kind of shake everything up and change everything. And Jake Paul is kind of the self-proclaimed biggest name in boxing, and I think that he is. I think he's making a fair he has a fair point there. There's a lot of people that don't know boxing, but they know Jake Paul. Okay. And it's kind of like, if you think about the greats, the greatest of the greats, if you don't watch boxing, you still know Mike Tyson. If you don't watch basketball, you still know Michael Jordan. If you're not a golf fan, you still know Tiger Woods. And that's kind of the level that Jake Paul has been able to position himself in recent years. Hate it or love it. You don't have to like it because, he's doing it. It's working for him. What he's doing, this character he portrays, it's working for him. And yeah, I mean, people who don't watch boxing, they know Jake Paul. And guess what? The people who do watch boxing, they know Jake Paul. So there's a fair argument there that he is the biggest name in boxing. And I mean, this kind of proves it right here. Mike Tyson's going to take him on. If you weren't the biggest name in boxing, you wouldn't get a fight like this. You know, people wouldn't tune in to see this if there wasn't some allure around who you were as a fighter. So pretty crazy. Now, is this going to be a sanctioned fight or is it going to be an exhibition? I personally believe this will be way more of an exhibition fight. I don't think these two are going to fight seriously. I don't see, Tyson going in there and trying to take his head off. And I don't see it going the other way either. I'm just more mind blown that they can even that they would even allow this. And why would Mike Tyson even want to do this? I seen a statement from Mike Tyson and it said, yeah, I started him on my undercard back in 2020 and now I'm going to finish him. It's like, come on. There's so many people that have said they're going to finish Jake Paul. How come nobody does? I thought Anderson Silva for sure would have just put it on Jake Paul and just ended that right there. And even, what's the Fury kid's name? Tyson Fury's brother. Fuck, I can't even think of it. But regardless, Tyson Fury's brother, they fought, and I honestly thought Jake kind of won that fight. He knocked him down. It was a close fight, a really, really good fight. But I mean, they talked all that shit, and if Tyson Fury is your brother and you're like this big boxing family, and you get in here and you fight a guy like Jake Paul, who everybody says is no good, and that fight right there proved to me that Jake Paul knows how to fight. They're like, oh, this is his first test against a pro fighter. Yeah, he technically lost the fight, but I mean, he looked good. He didn't look like he didn't belong in there. And I guess Jake Paul's knocked a couple people out recently, kind of some no-namers, but I mean, that's how boxing is when you got to go from the bottom to the top. And Jake Paul's kind of taken an untraditional route to boxing. He's fought some NBA players. He's fought some ex-MMA guys, some old people that, a lot of people are like, well, that's not even a real fucking fight. Regardless, I think the dude knows how to box. Okay, and that's what he's doing. He obviously knows how to box, and he's got all the time in the world to keep practicing and getting better and better. Will he make it to a world title? I mean, at this point, yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's obviously dedicated. He's serious about it. This isn't like a little, a fad or something that he's just kind of doing for a little while and then on to the next thing. I mean, he's got 6, 7, 8 years in this thing now. I think he's here to stay. I think at this point, I think it'd be cool to see him fight for a world title. I don't think he's ever gonna really get the respect that Mayweather's and Pacquiao's and Tyson's. I don't think he's gonna get that. I think he's gonna be that guy that people just love to hate. Just because that's kind of his mantra. That's what he is. He's the guy that everybody loves to hate. He's got that attitude. He talks a lot of trash. He's kind of got that, just the way he carries himself and goes about it. You either like that or you hate it. There's no in between. And I never really, I've heard of Jake Paul. I'm, not somebody that watches that kind of YouTube content. That's like my son knows Jake Paul better than I do. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know where I was going with that, but he's obviously, he's well known, and you either like him or you hate him, and it's kind of a shame because Jake Paul probably could be a good. I think he's a good thing for the sport. He's drawn a lot of attention back to boxing. In my opinion, I love boxing, but I liked boxing, when it was Mike Tyson, and I liked boxing when it was Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. But unfortunately, them two never could get a fucking fight worked out until after they were, too old to be really fighting each other. And when they finally did fight, it was kind of more of a, it wasn't great like it should have been. They should have fought 10 years before they did. And that's kind of, where boxing, the sport of boxing has made a lot of mistakes. And a lot of people will say that. And now this is kind of, if you're not happy with the Jake Paul situation, it's because of what's happened in boxing in recent years. And I mean, dude, he's drawing people to the sport. Okay. And that's a good thing. Anytime you got a sport like boxing and it's kind of starting to fade, and then a guy comes in and he starts bringing a bunch of fresh new eyeballs to it, like, you can't hate on that. At the end of the day, you got to kind of tip your hat to that guy. So yeah, this is insane. I'm actually excited for this fight. I really am. I hope that, it is more of an exhibition. If they get in there and really try to like kill each other, that would be, I think that, Paul would obviously get the edge, but I could be wrong, dude. Mike Tyson still looks really, really good on the pads. Like, you can YouTube that, Google that. Mike Tyson is in fantastic shape. Even though he's, pushing 60, the dude is not a slouch. And he was at one time the best boxer in the world, and he's still training. He's still staying sharp. Now, having said all that, is that enough to beat somebody? When you get to, 58 years old, even though you were the best at one time, age, your body just can't do what it used to do. And you're going up against a guy that is easily in his prime. Okay, you're getting prime Jake Paul, who has been training his fucking ass off, and he's going to train his ass off for this event. And even though Mike Tyson was definitely the best, most ferocious, most feared fucking puncher in the world, how is that going to translate at 56 years old? And when you put that, a 56-year-old monstrous puncher up against a guy that, doesn't have the pedigree or the knockout power, but he's 30 years younger. And Jake Paul is still a big guy. And he's strong. I find it hard to believe that Tyson, if it was a real fight and they were really trying to get in there and hurt each other, I just have a hard time seeing Mike Tyson be able to pull that out. Just for the age alone and the size. Because, like, Jake Paul's not a small guy, and there's a lot of people that got in there with him that thought they was going to beat on him, and they didn't. They got the opposite happen. They got beat on. Man, this is just insane. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. So this is ESPN. I got it pulled up here. So Tyson participated in an 8-round exhibition bout with Roy Jones Jr. in July of 2020. And while the fight exceeded expectations, no one was clamoring for more. And that's true. I mean, I watched that fight. It was cool to kind of see them guys back out there, but it was kind of like, at the same time, you almost didn't want to see them hit each other, Yeah, kind of. And I feel like that's what's going to happen in this fight is like, they're going to get in there and it's going to be like, dude, I don't want to see anybody knock out Mike Tyson. Like, nobody wants to see Mike Tyson get knocked out at 56 years old. And this is the crazy thing. It's like nobody on planet Earth wants to see that. Nobody that's a fan is going to be tuning in hopes that Jake Paul just fucking clobbers Mike Tyson because he's 57 years old. Nobody wants to see that shit. You know, that's a senior citizen, okay? After like 55 and older, they have their own senior citizen communities. When you get to be 55 and older, like there's special places that you go to live. Okay. You get special treatment at restaurants. They like comp part of your tab. You get all kinds of stuff, you know, like that's senior citizen. When you show up to a golf course at 55 years old, you get to hit from the closer tees to the green. They move you up to make it easier for you. This guy's going to get in here and try to fucking box, you know. Like, here's the thing. At 55 years old, if you want to be competitive in sport, you got to play something like golf or chess. Like, I would say golf is damn near the only competitive sport where you could still hang with the younger guys, you know. I think that like Tiger Woods will be able to, when Tiger Woods is 56, he'll still be able to play on tour and he'll have some good rounds if he can, you know, if his back doesn't completely get shot. I think, but if Tiger Woods is able to stay healthy when he's 56, he'll still be doing, you know, 3 or 4 tournaments a year. He'll show up at the Masters and he'll put on a good round. I definitely see that as a real possibility. But, dude, boxing is different, man. You're getting punches thrown at your fucking head by guys that are 27 years old. The age difference cannot be taken lightly here. It's just, you know, I don't see what's really in it for Mike Tyson at this point. I mean, yeah, it's a big payday, most likely. But, you know, if I'm a 56-year-old man and I'm already loaded and I'm already beloved around the world, everywhere I go, people know my name. I'm Mike fucking Tyson. You know, I just don't see the upside for him. You know, you're putting yourself in a really bad spot with not a whole lot of upside. Like, you're giving Jake Paul everything. Like, if Jake Paul does knock him out, it's like, hey, now he gets to say, I knocked out Mike Tyson. You know, and you know he showed up and got the W. And if Mike Tyson, I guess if Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul, it would be pretty fucking wild to see that. And it would definitely suck for Jake Paul. It's like, dude, you got knocked out by a 56-year-old dude. But at the same time, yeah, he was the greatest boxer to ever live. But man. When you really got to try to weigh that out. And it's like, you know, is it more beneficial for Mike Tyson or is it more beneficial for Jake Paul? Is it pretty even? I don't know, man. I guess, like, that's the thing. Professional athletes have a really hard time hanging it up. You know, you train your whole life. Your whole identity is your sport. And that's what people know you for. And that's what, you know, got you everything that you have. And then at some point, age catches up with you and you have to stop. And I think that, you know, a lot of fighters struggle, not just fighters, but a lot of athletes struggle to find their purpose after their sport, you know. And I think, you know, maybe Tyson's feeling some of that. Like, he's just trying to, you know, get something to kind of keep him motivated. He's looking for something to kind of bring that spark back into him to, you know, kind of relive those glory days a little bit. You know, maybe there is something psychologically there for him, an advantage, a benefit, something that he's seeing that he's like, man, I got to do this fight. And he just has to do it. And I would hope that it's something more than just money. But who knows? I'd be interested to see how much money they're going to make. This ESPN article doesn't say, you know, anything about purses or anything. But yeah, they're going to make some money. I'll tell you what, I'd like to see Pacquiao fight one more time. This is kind of completely off topic. But I'd like to see Pacquiao and Jake Paul. You know, I think I think that would be a good one. And I might be the only idiot that thinks that. But, I mean, I would watch Pacquiao fight just about anybody. You know, I'd like to see Pacquiao get in there one more time and mix it up. I was kind of hoping, you know, it would be kind of cool to watch Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao fight. You know, I think that would be a good tune-up boxing match for Conor. I was kind of hoping that Conor would do more boxing matches. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him do fucking much of anything other than hang out in yachts, hang out on his yacht and drink beer at that bar thing that he owns over there in Ireland. Still a Conor McGregor fan. Not sure if I want to see him come back and fight in the UFC. I think that, you know, he's 35, and in the UFC, nothing good happens after 35. You know, it's kind of like what our dads always say, man. Nothing good happens after midnight, and that's what 35 is for the UFC. Nothing good happens after 35, and Conor's right there. So, yeah, crazy. But it remains to be seen. I'm excited. The fight game is always pure entertainment. You can't miss it. I absolutely love it. But, you know, I will be following this story for sure. I'm going to do some more videos on it. So stay tuned and make sure to hit that subscribe bell, like the channel, share it. And if you want to see more videos, click right here.